Do they call it English Ivy because it takes over everything? So many people are obsessed with something Dash Core and very clear-cut black and white aesthetics, and I've never really understood that. I understand that it can help you research things and identify more of what you like, but over the last several years I've seen more and more people really emphasizing sticking to one aesthetic or being able to clearly define something so they know what they're allowed to branch out into. And that's not what we do here. There is so much emphasis on what label you settle on that it really limits creativity. Just full stop. Like, yes, use your words, describe it, but that shouldn't limit things. I, for one, very much enjoy specifically cross-genre, cross aesthetics, so I will be taking inspiration from bags like these. And because I see it so much in day-to-day, I really love the look, even though it's very bad for a lot of the ecosystem around here. I will be adding an English Ivy to the top of that. And because I cannot find my snaps, I will be likely cannibalizing the zipper from this thing, and which is also a bag that's very similar that I made a very long time ago with the boxed edges and everything. I may not actually take it from this one. I will figure something out, because this is the one with two flaps that I may do a video on this bag in the future, and it has two flaps for ease of pulling the zipper and everything. I will be closing the bag somehow with whatever I find in this wreck of a room, but here we go. I will be walking you through however that ends up. It's like I actually had some Michaels credits that I forgot about and found a $5 bill on this jacket. Oh look, a metaphor. And because I cannot stay away from colors, I did the math and realized I could buy some dye for something that I've been meaning to finish for a very long time, unrelated to YouTube. So I'm actually going to paper pattern it this time, and there's random stuff in here I didn't realize. First, because I haven't used a zipper in quite a long time, I wanted to make sure I knew where the 7-inch mark was, like it's marked on the package. So the 7 inches is to the usable length, and then it has the tags here. So we are going to work with 7 inches. And so let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is the entire thing. I want it to curve the sides though, so let's go with take off 1, 2. That's a little, about an inch down to the sides. So that is in scale. And then 7 inches is here. It's going to be about that wide. How about we go with 5 inches. 5. Oh yeah, that'll make it about square. If I'm lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we are gonna need some dimension this way, and I don't want it to poof out too much. Maybe 2 inches max. I'd go with 1.5 inches, so it's not like way sticking out. So if these are each an inch, we can go. Oh, battery. Okay, some battery. And I went ahead and drew some of this. So assuming that each square is 1 inch, draw the exact shape that I need, and then add another half square. So it should be 5 inches, 5 inches, and then it may come out to 3 inches. What's half of 0.75 plus a half is 1 1/4. So, and in case it wasn't apparent, we'll be using a 1/2 inch seam, and then when it folds over, that'll be exactly the block that I need. And I'm going to cut these out and probably sew the zipper on first and then sew it all together, and I'll be right back. You may be wondering, and yes, I do have the math trouble. But you know what really helps math? Getting your hands on something really practical. But because I keep hearing from people that they no longer offer home ec in schools, that is a big reason why I'm doing this channel. I don't know everything, but at least I can make mistakes that you can watch out for. And trust me, there are a couple in here that may not be the worst ever, but I should have known to catch myself on. And because I am a little bit of a masochist, I'm going to go ahead and copy that with bedsheet here for the lining. Let's see how that goes. So if you've made, oh, where did it go? Microphone went somewhere. If you've made something like book bags before with the boxed seams, the boxed end so you can set it down and it won't fall over as easily, you might be tempted to just do all the sides at once. But because there's a zipper in this one, I'm gonna go ahead and just do the top. And anyway, you'll see there's a, I may not be doing it in the right order of operations, but it's the way that makes sense to my brain so that nothing gets in the way of something else. This is about where I realized I had not taken a look at my machine in quite a while. And though this was mainly about testing out old skills, I didn't want to really push it, so orange was a no-go. Okay, so change of plans again, because even 1.5 inches is going to stick out way too far. So instead of just trimming down the entire thing, because I still want it to have some room at the bottom, I am going to, where'd you go? So this is the lining, this is the outside, the black outside. We're going to get to the interesting part in a minute. Instead of sewing the zipper right to the side like that, I did find some of my pins, and I'm gonna start sewing it teeth side to the outside, the solid side, and then when I flip it inside out, I'll trim down by hand from the bottom to the top, so it's bigger at the bottom than it is at the top, and we'll see if I don't screw it up. So if you didn't catch that, that basically means there will be a triangle shape on the sides rather than just going straight up, aligned to the outside rather than the seams on the inside of the original piece. If you're trying something like this, especially without a pattern, don't be afraid, like I apparently was, to stop in the middle of a seam after backspacing, I forget the term, and zip your zip so that you can sew over different parts, because you definitely cannot go over the zipper pull. If you're lucky and or persistent, you will then come out with a functional zipper and a non-functional bag, which we'll get to. This is now just shoving it into place, matching the seams of the corners and making sure everything lays as flat as possible. And then, like I said, cutting into the seam allowance that I didn't actually end up needing. And if you are following along or doing something similar, you can feel the edge of the zipper through the fabric if it's not too thick. So starting at the top, cutting all along the zipper without cutting into it, and then widening as you reach the bottom. Then match up those seams again, and then go to the very ends of the zipper, aka where you're going to want to stop your seam when you go all the way around to make the bag. Pin there because that's where you're going to stop and start. And there we have it, folks. I did indeed sew the bag shut with the zipper shut. If this also happens to you, you can either put something in there and try to work it open a little bit at a time, or if you're using fabric that's not too thick, see about grabbing the pole from the outside through the fabric and see about doing it that way, and it worked for me. The original plan for the lining, I swear there was a way to do this in the other bag, but as you'll see, that was made a very long time ago. What I ended up deciding on was turning the outside of the bag back inside out, aligning the bottom seams, and then pinning the lining to the top. And you'll also see I forgot to leave a gap at the bottom to actually turn it inside out, but I went ahead and put one in anyway, and it turned out mostly okay. Seam ripper is your friend. I mean, that's not a seam ripper, but I can't find my seam ripper, so that's my seam ripper right now. This being my first installed lining with a zipper in probably more than 10 years, I ain't even mad that it sticks. Here we go. Now the more interesting part. I don't know what that is. Okay. Okay, 1-to-1 paper pattern. Let's go like. Here we go. And I have no tips for this because I just kind of do it. There will have to be a little strap toward the back so that it flips up and it's not just on there. It's later in the day. I'm gonna try and finish this before, who am I kidding? I don't stop work. This stuff is gonna be on the front flap, and it's way softer than I remembered. I'm not gonna use that to try and flip it inside out, but I'm just gonna sandwich 2 pieces and then zigzag the edges, see if I can make something that at least is passable as something on purpose. But yeah, look at this. I've had this for a long time. I forget which one of my jobs it was actually at, but I saw it, I needed it, I bought it. It's got all those little leaf cells and such. I lied just a smidge. I do have one tip, and that's to use symmetry to your advantage. I talk more about this in the plushing making video that I have in the sewing playlist. Especially when you're doing paper patterns, it's really easy to fold it over and at least even things out, even if it doesn't come out perfectly as you want it to. It'll be symmetrical, and it'll look more on purpose.
It's like something that Jay Dunn does taste instead of the Gooper. I think it's instead. It might be. I don't know. Where I got to.
It's soft, but apparently not that soft, especially when it's 4 layers. Yes, I did wear the same shirt 2 days in a row, and I don't care. That didn't go quite as smoothly as I had hoped, especially considering that I did, in fact, make this one. But that was a very long time ago, and by very long time, I think this is over 10 years old. But I got it done, it functions. I think the vinyl will probably eventually wear out. I'm going to be doing more embellishments just as I feel like it, I suppose, because at this point it does look very, very, very handmade, which isn't a bad thing, but there is a spectrum. Also, it hovers just a little bit because the vinyl was softer than I had remembered since I last handled it, but it's still vinyl, it's not fabric in the traditional sense. So I do expect the little flap to wear out eventually, and then I'll replace it with something that I've spent more time on. But it's an idea that has been kicking around in my head for a very long time, and I have a lot more of that vinyl. I don't want to be reckless with it, but I may make some other things. I may make something that's a little bit more polished, but it's the first time I've put in a zipper in a very, very long time, and thank you for your encouragement, because you are encouraging. Right. Thank you so much for being here. This channel is to reclaim what's considered traditional skills and arts from the people who are trying to draw borders around it. I don't know everything, but I am willing to try a lot, which is a huge step that a lot of people don't take in the first place. So, so if you're interested in that, I would really appreciate a subscribe. And until the next video, do your part, support the dark arts.